Well, hello again and welcome to the show that makes every day feel like a holiday and should be a national holiday. This is the Sports Box, where the only opinion that matters.
Really?
It's right here.
Is that your system now? You good?
Maybe not. I am Mike Galetta, a.k.a. Hamilton Mike, along with my partner Brian, the Ranger Retard. Brian, I'll tell you, we got some talking to do today. Today we are going to talk about the Super Bowl, but first, know that you can get us everywhere on social media.
Absolutely. Twitter and Facebook. Thank you everybody who's following us on both those platforms, both at Sportsbox Show. And of course, thank you all of you YouTube subscribers. You guys have been great. We were happy to bring you all this great football knowledge all year long. And though we're at the end of that row, we have a lot more to come. So make sure you're subscribing if you haven't already. You'll see the Sportsbox logo right over here at the end of the show. Make sure you hit that and subscribe right through there.
So today we're going to talk a little bit in length about the Super Bowl last night.
There was a game last night.
There was. Yeah. Unbelievable Super Bowl last night. If you were alive to see this one, oh my, were you in for a treat last night? The New England Patriots come all the way back. Was that 25? 25 points, folks, at the halftime. A switch went on, and Tom Brady, best quarterback we've ever seen in this lifetime. Unbelievable effort. Brian, let's dive right into it. Give your opinion first of all.
A couple of things before we really go into kind of look deep into the game that just stand out to me. Prior to Super Bowl 51, the largest lead ever overcome by any team in the Super Bowl era was 10 points. It was done 3 times. The Patriots came back from down 25 points. And I don't mean 25 points in the first half or anything. There were 17 minutes left in the third quarter. And 17 minutes left in the game. 2 in the third quarter and in the fourth quarter. And they were down 25. They were down over 3 scores.
And let's just talk about the first half. Because here's a team, it wasn't like this team was going back and forth and whoever got the ball that's going to win the game. Atlanta Falcons were sticking it to the Patriots. First half was 21-3. And you just, and then it came out in the second half. They scored again, and you just saw a beating going down. And the people out there that are haters, that quasi Eagles fans that hate the Patriots because of what they did to them in the Super Bowl, and hold the Flakegate and Spygate and all that other crap going on. Guess what? You just saw a quarterback revive that team and just stay calm. Notice the Patriots did not even get flexed. They weren't mad. They weren't upset. Nobody hung their head. He just got back into this game and just, by the miracles of the football gods, even when they missed the extra point, when they scored, missed the extra point, you could have said, hey, you know what, the hell with it, we're going to fold up. Nope, Patriots just came back and just did an unbelievable job.
But it's all coaching.
Absolutely.
It's all coaching, and you can point to so many different spots in that game that you're going to look back on this game for 10, 20 years and say, Dan Quinn, what in the blue hell were you thinking?
You saw Brady get picked off, and they ran an 82-yard return back, and like I said, you think the Patriots had every reason just to fold up, and they didn't. You saw guys on the sidelines just say, all right, no problem. That's just one more we got to get, and it's no problem. You talk about coming out in the third quarter, Tevin Coleman, 6-yard pass from Matt Ryan. They go up 28-3. All is lost, and James White finally scores a 5-yard touchdown from Brady. Miss the extra point. They get the field goal, and then it all comes down to 31 unanswered points. I mean, unbelievable.
It is. And a couple of things, like I said, that stood out to me in this game that were just, I'm going to lay the blame here on Dan Quinn. I really can't blame Matt Ryan a whole lot. The funny thing about this game too, Mike, is they really didn't have that many offensive plays. It was a very weird game in that, the Falcons were up by a lot, but it never really just felt like New England was out of the game. And normally it would, and then just, I don't know if it's just the aura of that team and that quarterback, but again, so the Falcons, after going up 28-3, from that point on, had 5 running plays the rest of the game. 5 running plays.
With not like Reno Mahe back there or any other scrubs at running back, you got 2 stud running backs who are getting yards in the game. They're gashing New England for yardage. 3rd and 1, there was a play in there, 3rd and 1, where they threw the ball. What do you do? Milk the clock a little bit. I'm sorry, Kyle. I don't understand it. I don't understand it.
There's just a lot, and when you go back and look at that, I just don't understand the play calling at all. No. You have the greatest team of the last decade on the ropes, and you just don't put the kill shot on there.
Very tight.
Yeah. The big thing too. So with the big play to me that really typified this whole thing was with 3:56 left in the fourth quarter. Falcons are on the New England 23. They're up 8 points. Yeah. All you need right here, get a field goal in, make it a 2-score game, and this is all she wrote. It doesn't matter that New England came back to make it an 8-point game after being down by 25. And Matt Ryan in a pass play, and I just do not understand why this play was called. Ryan takes a sack. The subsequent play is a holding call. They're out of field goal range, and you give the ball back to Tom Brady with that much time left, with timeouts. It's all she wrote, you know.
You got to get rid of the ball if you're Ryan.
Yeah.
You got to know to get rid of the ball. I mean, you're that close, that late in the game. You can't give Brady that much time.
The signature moment to me, and I'm going to go on record, this was Tom Brady's signature win at the Super Bowl. And again, he's had 5 of them now, but they overcame everything you could possibly overcome to win this one. We talked about before the show. No Gronk. You had
did it again with nobody.
Dropped passes all over the place. There were some overthrows. I'm not absolving him from it, but a lot of missed opportunities. You know, everybody was talking about LeGarrette Blount, and I've been told how great LeGarrette Blount is and that he's not a product of the Patriots. LeGarrette Blount had 11 carries for 31 yards. He was a complete non-factor, and I'll give the Atlanta defense credit for that. But they got nothing on the ground from LeGarrette Blount. But the big play again, Julian Edelman with just a catch that's going to go down in lore. They exercise finally the David Tyree from the Giants Super Bowl 42 with their own insane catch.
It's crazy.
It was just meant to be. And
you kind of knew when he did that. It was just going to Patriots. It really was.
It just, you know, as a Yankee fan, you talk about Yankee mystique. That team's got it, man. That team just finds ways to win. And you know what? We've both been kind of cut up pretty badly by the Atlanta fans, which we appreciate the passion, we really do. But we've been cut up a lot in the comments and everything. A couple of you guys know who you are. There is nothing I can say to you right now to make you feel any worse than you already do. So I'm not going to.
I picked the Falcons. I thought they had enough offense, and you know what? They did in the first half. But you got to finish the game. You just got to finish the game. You want to look at some certain stats. Total plays. 46 by Atlanta and 93 for New England. That's staggering. Time of possession, 23-27 for Atlanta, 40.31. That just tells me that Atlanta did a terrible job of managing that clock in the second half. That's why you run the ball, to run some clock out so a guy like Tom Brady, who's an all-timer, doesn't kill you at the end of the game. You know what? Here's a guy who scored 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions at the end of the game. Well, me and Brian said it before the show. When they got the ball in overtime and they won the toss and they got the ball, it was over. Because they were going to go for it on 4th down anyway. They weren't going to kick a field goal. Belichick's not doing that. They're going for the touchdown. You know what? There's a dagger. There's a knife in the coffin. I mean, there's a nail in the coffin. It was over. It was unbelievable. We could say that until we're blue in the face, but you don't want to say Atlanta shot themselves in the foot. They kind of did with their offensive play calling. But in the same sense, you can't discount New England just running all over them in the second half. It was crazy.
And to Belichick's credit, he didn't try a bizarre slant pass on the one.
No. And here we go again with the wide receiver. Who was the main wide receiver that they threw it to the whole game?
Yeah.
Danny Amendola. What has Danny Amendola done all year besides be hurt and drop some balls? He's had 4 touchdowns the whole year and about 400 and something yards. The guy was a beast. And the week before was Hogan. He's just doing it with no names.
And you can tell, they made phenomenal adjustments at halftime, and you knew they were going to. That team was not going to go down quietly, and even though they weren't going to come back.
Yep.
I mean, again, that's who they are. Atlanta's defense played great until halftime, and after that, New England pretty much had their way with them in the second half.
Got to finish the game. We talked about turnovers. Yes. We talked about turnovers. Atlanta got the big turnover on the run with LeGarrette Blount. Kind of changed the game a little bit, got momentum going in their way. But then you got 2 turnovers in Atlanta's favor, the fumble by Matt Ryan, and then the other one, it's just, then Atlanta had the pick to run the other way. Momentum swung in that game back and forth, but you know what? New England kept the momentum going and just turned that whole game around. Atlanta couldn't stop it going. And you want to look at total yards. Atlanta, 344, New England, 546 yards. He attempted 63 passes.
Well, they had to. They were down.
Right, and like you said, they couldn't get Blount going because Blount is a straightforward runner. He's a power runner. And Atlanta did a great job of stopping out up front. They couldn't get Blount to the edges, so what do? You throw the ball. Even though Atlanta knew the ball was getting thrown, they still couldn't stop because you got guys that never did anything. Malcolm Mitchell got involved in the game. Ben Hogan got involved a little bit later. Edelman, obviously, always throw to Edelman. Bennett got involved a little bit. You got guys that you just spread the ball around. Unbelievable.
But we went in this game, and we might be talking a little bit about before, and I understand that it's 2 straight weeks now you picked against New England. 2 straight weeks you were wrong.
Yep. It's true.
But it's Brady, and the defense played great in the first half. Again, the first half could not have gone any more poorly for the New England Patriots. They spotted them 25.
Yep.
25, and it's you look at the aftermath in Atlanta. Matt Ryan's got a lot of class. I saw the interview at the end of the game. I give him a lot of credit for that, but I got to tell you, I don't know how you come back from a game like this.
As a franchise, that is a heart stopper right there.
As a franchise, I mean, they had the championship won.
Yep.
They had it won.
I think they were smelling themselves a little bit at halftime.
Yeah.
15 minutes away. And you got a guy like Brady. I mean, 43 of 62, 466 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, sacked 5 times, but still had a passer rating of 95.2, which was contributed to the second half.
Not his best game.
No.
Not his best game at all.
And who is their leading receiver?
James White.
James White, a running back. I mean, come on. It's just
it's what they do.
It's mind-boggling.
It's what they do.
It is mind-boggling.
It's funny. You talk about the emotions here. I am not a New England fan, but I found myself actively rooting for them in that game because I was witnessing history. I was witnessing greatness. It's probably the greatest game any of us will ever see in our lifetime, and you have to just absolutely give Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and that team all the credit in the world because it was very easy to fold up like a cheap suit. We've got 4 rings. It's not the end of the world, but that wasn't what that team was about. It's greatness. It's greatness.
I think that you know that they didn't run the ball well. If you look at the running backs that they had, you got 2 running backs with 18 carries between them for 104 yards. With 2 running backs who have done it all year long, and one that was gashing them for yardage, 11 carries, 75 yards, Devontae Freeman with a touchdown. And then you don't give them the ball in the second half. I don't understand it.
But it's mind-boggling. It's mind-boggling because that's been your strength. You know, Atlanta always had this passing offense. They were always like 7-9 with this passing offense. All of a sudden now, they had a healthy Coleman for most of the year, and Devontae Freeman having a great year, and they ran teams over. But again,
you couldn't get the ball to Sanu.
No.
You couldn't get the ball to Gabriel. Sanu had 2 catches. Gabriel had 3 catches, a couple drops. Julio Jones only had 4. And you look at Matt Ryan, 144.1 passer rating, but he was 17 of 23. Yeah. He was throwing the ball well, but after a while they start picking up on throwing the ball. You couldn't get guys open. You're up, like we said before, and we'll harp on it again. You're up 25 points. Why aren't you trying to run some ball? Now, you're going to kill the entire clock, but why don't you try to eat a little bit of clock by running the ball, and getting some first downs?
As you were successful doing it. Yep. It wasn't like you had LeGarrette Blount not being able to get a couple yards forward.
They had the running game going early.
Yeah.
I mean, all the time. I don't understand it. But like we said, you're Atlanta. You're hopeful for the future because you got a team that has a lot of offense and things to that effect. But in the same sense, this game, I mean, talk about take the life out of you. I mean, you're up 25 points on supposedly the best team in football, and you let that slip away and they beat you in overtime. I honestly don't know how you come back from it.
It's so hard to get there unless you're the New England Patriots.
And it's hard to go back to
back.
It's
so hard to get there with any kind of consistency. And you see what's happened to teams like Carolina, for example, that was in the Super Bowl last year. And I look at this Atlanta team, you know, I get a lot of flack because I picked against them twice in the playoffs. I didn't think they were the better team in either of those games. I was proven wrong. Yeah. But I got to tell you, you know, are they a one-hit wonder? I don't know. Because they kind of came out of nowhere, so I don't know what to make of them.
It's hard as a team to go back to the Super Bowl #1, but after a loss like that, you really need some strap on some bagels to go back again and play at the level to win the Super Bowl like Atlanta did. And listen, you're in Atlanta today. How do you? Number 1, you didn't get any sleep. Number 2 is you're just thinking of what could have been, and then how do you get up for next year? Knowing that you were there and you made a great run, you had the #1 offense and everything was going the way it should, and in the second you were 15, 20 minutes away from winning a Super Bowl, and just here. Tom Brady. Made Tom Brady the #1 quarterback of all time.
Like I said, there is literally nothing I can say right now that will make the Falcons fan base feel any worse than it does right now. So it really doesn't matter. But for all you guys that wanted to, you know, to rip me and rip Mike because we didn't pick your team, listen, you have to call it like you see it, and I called it the way that I did. I'm not calling Atlanta a fraud here, but again, I don't know what I'm going to make of them next year. Did they catch lightning in a bottle to get where they were? Probably. They only beat 2 playoff teams in the regular season, so you can't necessarily say, oh, well, they're going to come right back. Everybody thought Carolina was going to do it. You can't let these opportunities pass you by.
And listen, I picked against them.
Yeah.
A couple times Atlanta. Then I went with them in the Super Bowl. I'm for wrong. So am I a mush? I hope not. But in the same sense, hey, I picked with them. I believed in them. And, you know, they came up small.
The good news after all this, right, as of right now, everybody's 0-0. It's a new season.
That's it. That's it.
Getting ready for the draft.
One more team has to have a parade, but after that, everybody's 0-0.
Well, they have some practice. I think they know how to do it. Up in Boston, where the you know Celtics. Oh God.
Well, a different note, not that everybody cares, but the Lady Gaga halftime show, I thought it was great. I really thought it was good. I thought she came out. Didn't talk about anything, any political thing. We got together as unity. They jumped off, did some special effects, loved it. I thought it was great. Not that I was a big proponent of it, but I think it was good.
I'm not really a halftime show guy myself.
No,
I don't know why they do it for advertising.
But you got to understand, the Super Bowl nowadays isn't for guys like me. You watch football; it's for everybody out there. Everybody watch parties, entertainment-wise. I just threw it out there. It was a nice thing. I love the commercial with Brady at the end for the 5 rings. That was greatly thought out. That was very nice.
Talk about bad juju, right? I don't think he really cared. Filming a commercial before the game with his 5th ring. Roger that.
And then Roger that. That was a nice shot. By the way, if anybody did see the handshake there. Yeah, that was Brady saying, okay, yeah, thank you very much, and Roger Goodell trying to get a little close with him, and Brady just saying, okay, have a nice day. That was beautiful. He had to give him the trophy. That was great. Actually, he didn't give him the trophy. It was up there, and Terry Bradshaw gave him the trophy. So that's all
amazing.
Because you knew that was going the other way.
So I guess we're gonna close the book here on the 2016 NFL season.
Great season.
We appreciate all of you that have been with us the whole way, especially all of you that have joined this ride very recently. We can't thank you guys enough. But keep around, because we're gonna do a lot. We're gonna get ready for the draft. We're gonna get ready for the off season. We're still gonna be bringing you some football, but we're gonna spread the wings out, do a lot more baseball, a lot more hockey, NBA, WWE, UFC. Mike wants to talk some rugby and some cricket. Whatever you guys want, you let us know.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about those LA Chargers. Leo, I hope you're ready for that. We'll talk about some other things. The Raiders talking about possibly moving to Vegas. We got a lot of things going on. But again, we got the NHL, NBA. We're gonna have sprint training going on soon. Listen, if you don't like any of the sports we're talking about, write in. Let us know what we want to talk about. Talk about it. Brian said MMA, wrestling. But remember, you can always get us on social network if you need to.
Absolutely. Both Facebook and Twitter at SportsBox Show, and of course the YouTube subscribing. Please go ahead and do that. We love you guys, and as we finally put the nail in the coffin on the 2016 NFL season, on behalf of the Sports Box, congratulations to the New England Patriots and their fans for their 5th Super Bowl. It's greatness that is just unbelievable, especially in this day and age. Special congrats to our Patriots correspondent, Kevin Zane. A lot of you Patriots fans who watch the show.
And Aaron Sherwood, the Atlanta Falcons
guy.
Yes,
congrats for being there. I know you're not really feeling good today right now, but again, thank you guys very much for all the support. We're going to be getting ready for the draft, doing draft preview. Make sure you stick around.
Yep, and because remember, at the Sports Box, the only opinion that matters is still right here. Thanks for watching again. Keep watching us. Subscribe if you haven't already. See you.
Don't forget to subscribe.